New video, new job. And the job today is, of course, putting in this base. It's time to get at it. I've been long enough looking at it. I've been putting it off because a little bit of work attached to it. And I knew it was going to take me a few hours to get it done. I'm going to be doing it on my own. I don't really have any help during the week time, but it's time to get it in because my bin is practically ready. And it's just basically waiting on me to get this in now. That's what's happening. And it's just not easy always when you're doing things on your own to get around to get doing these things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it laid out. That's the first thing. Get it all laid out properly. Get it level, square, and ready to basically pour the concrete. Now, one thing I will say is we have a couple of 9-foot lengths here and a couple of scaffolding 8-foot lengths. So if I used 4 of these, which I have 4 of these at home, it still would only give me around 7'8", which isn't the 8-foot that I was told to have. You probably will get away with it, but you're better off just putting it in at the right size. So when I have the 2 8-foots, I'll put them in the inside and nail these ones to the outside, and that'll give me the right size. Now, these don't fit into the hole, as you can see. Now, there's a simple way of doing that. I could cut them to the right size, but there's 2 reasons why I don't want to do that. First reason is they don't belong to me, and the second reason is they don't belong to me. Alright, so the first thing I'm after doing is I'm after screwing this joint closed, getting it flush on the top and level. Now, that all well screwed. I'm going to do the same here on this side, and then I'm going to start measuring out 8 foot on both sides, and we're going to try to more or less get it level. Then we're going to screw this plank here in the middle as well, just the same as what we did here, and that's going to give us exactly 8 foot. Some of the screws I'm going to be using is these little 2.5 inch screws. Now wait a minute, that's not a screw. Now that's a screw. Now that's it in, but it's not squared. I'm going to square it now in a few minutes, but it's in and it's level. And just to show you that I'm not messing about, she's level, and them bubbles in my level, I just replaced them yesterday. You can buy them in packs of 10, them spirit level bubbles. And so I'm after changing the bubbles in all 3 of my levels, and a great job. Definitely recommend doing it. But yeah, They're all level there now. Everything's level the right way around. So I'll just give it a quick square just to make sure everything's right there. And then the next thing I'll do is, because I didn't have any long nails, I'll actually start packing some of this stuff in back around it, and that itself will hold it a lot, especially on this side here, and fill up the area along the bottom here as a bit of a gap. I don't want to put it down any further down into the ground, because we're probably going to be concreting this eventually. And I wanted to sit a little bit proud than the yard, if that makes sense. I just wanted to sit up a little bit prouder than the rest of the yard. That's 8 foot by 8 foot, 9 inches deep. They asked for 8 inches, but I'm going to put 9 inches of concrete into it. I'm going to use these bits of stones and things here, big stones, going to break them up with a sledgehammer. Them big stones will save you a bit on concrete. And not only will it save you, it will hold it together better. It won't crack with them in it. I've used big stones like that. My father would have used big stones like that, putting in posts around gates. And if you ever see me put in a post without putting a couple of big stones around it as well, he'd lose his life. And you know something, he was right, because any post around here, not that any of them have ever moved, well, some of them might have moved a bit. I'm just going to finish off here now. It's starting to rain here nicely, so I'm going to get this mixer all set up. I'm going to set up a hose, get everything just laid out that we're ready to rock. I plan to tackle this either tomorrow or the next day. I think it's giving heavy rain tomorrow, but if it's not a bad day, we'll tackle it tomorrow. So we'll pick this up the next day when we're pouring the concrete. Right, we're back here a few days later, all set up now. The weather is okay, perfect actually for concrete, and it's not too warm. It's just nice. We're going to take into this now. We're going to get this all concreted and done today and get this ticked off the list. Now, before I start that, there's something I just want to put into the middle of this video. And it's very, very important. It's more important than anything we ever show on our channel. It's based on something I read in my local news. A young guy from County Cavan, who a lot of you who are from this locality will have seen this, called Eden Heatslip. Now, Eden was 18 years old. He just celebrated his 18th birthday. I didn't know Eden or his family at all. They're not a million miles away from us. They're still in the same county. But I read the story and it really upset me. It absolutely hit me to the core. I was full of anger more than anything. Eden was subjected to bullying on a notorious level. It's an awful thing that's happening, especially to our young people who go to school and should be safe in their school. You're going to school to learn, have some fun and make friends. That's what school should be about. I spoke to one of Eden's family last night. The pain that they're going through is unbearable. You can feel it. It's just, there's no words that can explain it. But their lives will never be the same again. I want to say one thing I've noticed when I started this channel, and it's something I never considered that would happen, and that is an awful lot of young people between the age of 15 and 25 are contacting me, messages, just these random messages, asking me advice about situations that they're in. And it's all bullying. And I don't know what to say to them, but I certainly don't want to let it go unnoticed. So I put them in touch with loads of groups that are out there to help. And there are loads of really, really great communities out there who will help people out that are in that situation. When I was at school, bullying was all around me. You could see it everywhere. In every nook and cranny of school, you could see kids that were being severely bullied, being beaten up and being verbally abused. It was all over the place. But when you left school, you could go home and you could get a break from it from a little while. Nowadays, unfortunately, social media takes over. So when they go home from school or go home from their workplace, it continues. It never stops. And that needs to be addressed. That shouldn't happen. Nobody should be able to send someone a message nowadays that's verbally abusing that person and get away with it. What seems to happen a lot is these people that are getting bullied start to believe that they deserve to be bullied. And that is so far from the truth. People that tend to get bullied nowadays are always the good people. They're always the quiet person who minds their own business and who wants to do well in school. And they get bullied for that very reason. Because the truth is, the people that are bullying you, and whoever it may be, they are the person with the problem. They need an audience behind them to watch them bullying you so they can feel better about themselves and make them feel big about themselves because, hey, look at me, I can bully this person and I'm intimidating, there's nothing they can do about it. Let me tell you, there's a lot you can do about it. First of all, speak to your teacher, speak to your parents. You may find it embarrassing, but I promise you, a problem shared is a problem halved. You should never carry that weight on your shoulders. And if you're a bystander, watching someone getting bullied, do something about it. Help them out. Don't wait till next week. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait till the next day. Myself being a parent knows it's difficult. It's difficult to know what to do in that situation, but we have to do something. We have to do something about it because it should not be happening. Life is short. It's very, very precious. Do not let anybody in this life ever put you down or ever tell you what you should and shouldn't do. You're an individual. Be an individual. Stand out from the crowd. Set your own goals in life. Aim towards them. And those who try to pull you down, leave them behind. Right, let's get back to this. So our calves is just after being fed. First thing I'm going to have to do now is screw in some heavier screws here. Remember I said that before, so that this doesn't come apart when I'm starting to mix my concrete. So I'm going to drive in a few longer screws that I got here now, and then we're going to check our levels again. We're going to hook up our water, we're going to get our cement ready, and we're going to start mixing. Now one thing I did do is bring over the loader, this time in front of the tractor. I've got a few ideas that I might try to see how which one works, and one of which is to pour the concrete into the actual bucket of the loader. That way I can lift it, I don't have to bar anything and throw it into this. That may work well. If it doesn't, and it doesn't pour properly into the loader, I have got the bar as a backup. And I don't really want to use it, but if we have to use it, we will. Now, one thing I will say, and I have listened to you guys who commented about it, is I've learned now to hold the actual handle for starting the cement mixer correctly. So rather than wrapping my thumb around it, I keep my thumb on the outside of it, so it doesn't kick back and doesn't break your thumb. So thanks to all you guys who said that. I didn't know that could possibly happen, and it does make sense now when you think about it. So I won't do that no more. Thankfully, this mixer, it's very easy to start. Right, so there's good news and there's bad news. Good news is we're well on in getting it finished. It took a lot of concrete, but we have a small area that we didn't get finished. S&S Hardware, where we get the sand, just dropped out to us. They're coming out with another wee lock of sand for us, because I have another wee job I want to do anyway. So they're going to drop out some sand to me. I'm out of cement as well. And it's just a pity because it's such a small area. It's only what, about 2 dozen shovelfuls and it'll be finished. And I have to wait on them till 3 o'clock. It's just gone 2 o'clock there now. So my wife's out there running me over some dinner. I'm going to have a quick bite to eat before that happens. But before I even do that, I don't have a vibrator to work. That sounded wrong. I don't have anything to vibrate the concrete down. So what I tend to use is just my own Kango. I just put it again the sides, give it as much vibration on the sides as I can, and that does work wonders for it. It's nice and wet. I do tamp it down, I have it fairly level. Basically all we do is get a length of timber that goes from this side the whole way to that side. And because this is level, we sit our timber on top of this, and the same on the far side, and we saw across first, taking off all the high spots and filling in the low spots, and then we just tap it the whole way across. Not too bad, lad. Right, so we're back the following day. Now, you have to forgive me. My battery died yesterday. It's the story of life. All vloggers that use GoPro always will complain about batteries going, because that's how bad they are. The batteries last no length. They let you down always in the worst times. But my battery did die yesterday. But I managed to film a small bit with my nephew Philip, who Philip lives beside me. Philip's 16. He does sometimes come over and give me a hand. And this time he came over and he gave me a hand for a little while. So you would have seen that little clip before this one. It was recorded on my phone. So I'm hoping you've seen a little bit of it. So here's the base. And nothing walked on it. It's an absolute miracle. Nothing walked on it. It's perfect now. I can walk on it myself. It's as solid as a rock. It's 9 inches deep, so it isn't going to go anywhere. When I fill some of this area around here, just with dry sand and cement, and then put the stones back on top of it. And that's going to give it even more of a footing. So that will make a really good job of that. I mix this at a 3-to-1 ratio. So 3 shovels of sand to 1 of cement. That was the ratio I mixed this, and that's a strong mix. You can even tell by the colour of it. Only 2 days in now, and you'd know to look at it, it's a strong mix. Cole's with me this time. She's going to do the camera work, and let's get these timbers off. Now, another thing I did was I broke the first bit that I put in. These D-wall bits. This is another one I bought here in a local co-op, and I haven't used them yet. It'd be interesting to see what they're like, but I see them around. They're only 16 quid. But these D-wall ones, and what I paid for them, I can't remember what I paid for them. So I've loads of bits, but I have to say one thing, and I don't know, this thing here slides up and down the whole time. It doesn't lock in place. Yeah, it's an unusual one. But anyway, take 2. Yeah, nothing to write home about them things. And I just swapped over me bits. Oh my god, that's so much better. Oh! Separate? Yes. Here it is. It actually turned out a lot better than what I thought. I thought it was going to be riddled with air bubbles or just little pockets along the side. But it's not. It's actually very good. Even the fact that I did do it on camera. So that's even a bonus. But it's good. It looks good. It's nice and solid. That ain't going to go nowhere. Yeah, I'm back in a t-shirt now and I'm absolutely founded because I told Nicole before she left the house, put on something warmer. No, I'm grand. I'm 100%. So yeah, I had to give her my jacket to keep her warmer, and now I'm cold. That's another job done. We'll be getting our bin now in a couple of weeks' time, maybe even less. It's going to be so handy for us. Right, before we load up this timber and take it home, myself and Nicole are going out in the field here to our heifers. We're going to be putting something out there for them. So let's do that. So that's that on the ground. This is called a basis feeder. What it does is it holds your lick buckets. It'll hold 3 lick buckets comfortably. There's place there for another one. And it's got a rubber mat on the top. It's got a sturdy plastic bottom. It's simple in theory what it does. It keeps out all the rain, any cow from dunging into it, things like that. But one thing I really like it for is you see my land here is all sloped towards the bottom. Every field I have is on a hill. It's just everything is on a hill. There's no level spots around here. And when I put in a lick bucket in the field, which I always do with my cattle, you might have noticed it in other videos. You'll see me buckets in the hedges and things and me taking them out of the hedges. Well, what happens is when they get down to about halfway or even a little less, the cattle end up tossing them the whole way to the bottom of the field and into the drains. And I'm forever taking the buckets out of the drains. So this here is supposed to stop that from happening. It's a brand new product from JFC. It's very simple. It's just a rubber mat on the top. It'll be interesting to see what happens. The animal's supposed to come along, put his head under here, give it a lift up and lick at the buckets. Cattle learn very quickly. I've no doubt that that will work easily. I've seen videos of it working, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes along. It's a simple idea. It's quite light to put out in the field and move about. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to go home now and start editing this video for tomorrow. I have a video then coming up midweek of us putting our cattle in. Our cows are actually in now, but I have a video of the whole procedure of that and showing our whole winter routine now. But thankfully I have the girls home now for Halloween break and they're going to be doing all the work. Isn't that right, Nicole? Yeah, it'll be a good bit of crack. It's nice to have them home for a week or so and put them to work. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. Thanks very much for watching as always. If you haven't subbed, now's your time to do it. Give us a like, leave a comment down below. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook and on TikTok. And until the next one, we'll talk to you again.